Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be a review for the mid-season premiere of Swiss Ship Earth, Season 3, Episode 12, Love Among the Ruins. Now, I was quite looking forward to this episode, because the last episode of the show, the mid-season finale, was the best episode of the season. I mean, it was a really intense episode. It made the show really intense, and I was really looking forward to seeing where this episode was. And this episode, just as intense. Oh my god, the show's getting so much more intense now. It's getting a lot more interesting now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to go with this show now, because it just got really, very interesting after this episode. I thought it was very, very interesting. So I'm really looking forward to, the other episodes. So let's just get this episode, because overall I really, really enjoyed it. So basically, we'll first talk about Bay and Emmett, because, they were the main storyline in the episode. Basically, Bay does not know what to do. She just slept with Emmett. She goes right over to Daphne, and she tells her exactly what happened. And she hates herself for doing this. She hates herself for cheating on Tank. And she's not sure about her feelings for Tank. It doesn't mean that she wants to ride off into the sunset with Emmett, even though she, really does care about Emmett. She doesn't want to just completely forget about Tank, because she really does care about Tank. So it's not like she wants to just completely forget about Tank. That's not what she wants to do. It's that she really likes Emmett, but she doesn't know what to do. And she tells Daphne how, she told her what happened, and how she said, as she called them, they didn't use any condoms. She said things, but they didn't use any condoms because, it was like a sudden sex thing. So Daphne talks to her about how she has to take the morning after pill. And, Daphne's going to help her out with this. And you know what? I really liked in this episode, we got more of that great sister bond between Bay and Daphne. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. It always will be, and I've always loved that about the show. But I definitely thought that was a really great part of the show. I really enjoyed that overall. But, that was a really interesting way to start the episode. I thought it was very cool the way they did, because it got us right back into it. Now, as far as Emmett's going, he has been covering up his beatdown. He's not even telling Melody about it. Melody can tell something is going on, but he was just too embarrassed to admit to what happened to him, and was willing to overlook what his former friend did, so he could just forget about it. So, he pretty much just wants to forget about it. So, basically, we find out, though, that Matthew, actually, he's trying to talk to Matthew about it, and his friend, though, didn't want to forget about it, because he was just so pissed at Emmett that he couldn't forget about it. So Matthew didn't want to accept the olive branch, and, he didn't want to accept it, and he didn't want to let bygones be bygones, as Emmett said. And Emmett allegedly betrayed, he was still angry about Emmett allegedly betraying him when he rafted him out to the school officials. But the thing is, though, it's really your fault, Matthew. Emmett did what he had to do. He had a very difficult choice to make, and Emmett made the right choice. The right choice is to put the one that's in trouble, not get the students that, didn't do anything, not put them in trouble, because they didn't do anything. The hearing kids did nothing. It was you who did it, and it really, that's all I can say, is that it was him that did it. So, back to Bay, though, basically, he doesn't feel like he has Bay to turn to, because what happens is Bay goes up to him, and she's talking to him and everything about what happened, and he's so upset about the catfish thing that he doesn't even want to talk to her about the night before. And, she feels like she doesn't have him like she thought she did, so it's very interesting there. And I just thought that was very, very interesting with that whole conversation. I really enjoyed that overall. So basically, she found out from Tank that she finds out from Tank that he quit his fraternity, and because of this, none of the other brothers can talk to him for a year. And he lost both his housing and a lot of friends in order to please Bay. So after hearing what he did for her, she didn't have it in her to break up with him or tell him the truth, because she told Emmett, I'm going to break up with him. She told him that. She says, okay, I'm going to break up with him. I really love you and everything. I care about you a lot, and I'm going to break up with him. However, she didn't break up with him because of that. So now she's got an even bigger problem, because she wants to break up with Tank, but she can't, because It's just too much. Now, with Emmett, then what happens is that Emmett, instead of leaving Emmett alone, he posts the text messages that Emmett said to him during his catfishing days on all over the school. Literally, the text messages are everywhere, and that was just like, wow, how far was he willing to go? I mean, that was crazy. That was just crazy in my opinion. I thought that was big. Really, really was. So yeah, that was a really big surprise, actually. So then we find out something also really big, is that Emmett actually sent a photo of himself to Matthew back when Matthew was pretending to be his online girlfriend. Now we're assuming he sent him like a dick pic or something, because it's obviously an inappropriate photo, which we all do things like that. It's okay, but Emmett's really upset about that. So when Emmett so basically, he goes to the principal because Melody basically realizes, okay, we need to get we need to take actions into our own hands here. Emmett decides to lie about the whole thing. Basically, he says how, oh, don't worry about it, really wasn't anything that bad. I was kind of just joking around. I was kind of just being over dramatic. Nothing that bad happened. But Melody can tell that something bad did happen. She can just tell that something bad happened, and she is pissed off when she finds out what did happen. She goes right over to Matthew. She literally pushes him up against a wall, and she says, if you go near my son again, then we're gonna have a huge problem. And that was just really, really big. So she basically, of course she can't do that because she's not on school grounds. So unfortunately she's suspended from the school, so she can't come back to the school and see Emmett. So that's too bad. But Emmett was feeling very guilty, though. So yeah, she was suspended. But the thing is, she risked her own safety for Emmett. That's how much she cares about Emmett, and I think it's such a great thing. And what I really loved about her speech was when she was telling him, hey, it's not your fault. I know what's going on. It's not your fault. And I just thought that was very well done. And I loved that scene right there. I thought that was fantastic. Alright, let's go but then with Bay, and then the very end of the episode, we see that Bay is looking through all these things of her and Emmett. Bay called him, and she says, I haven't broken up with Tank, but I'm planning to. And, she's looking through this box of all the stuff that Emmett gave to her. And she wants to be with Emmett. Even though despite 2 years of them being apart, she says, we work as a couple. We're going to be together. It seems like everything's okay, but then we get the huge twist, which I really loved. We find out John was innocently typing something into the computer. Now, of course, John and Catherine don't know about the whole thing that's going on. So when Google offered him a suggestion based off the last place he looked, popped somewhere, popped where someone could find the morning after pill. So now John knows, but the thing is, now they're going to think it's Tank. They're not going to think of Emmett. They're going to think it's Tank, and it's going to get really, really interesting in the next episode. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be really awesome to see what happens next, because I thought that was just a really, really great twist. I wasn't expecting that, but it was a very good twist, and I really enjoyed that twist overall. Very, very great stuff. So the main plot, I really enjoyed it. Very, very strong. Really looking forward to seeing where that's gonna go. Let's go to the subplot. The other thing about this episode was last season, the first half of the season there was 5 plots. This one there was only 2. The second plot had to do with Regina and Daphne. So Daphne is really concerned about Regina. Because Regina was threatened by that guy who threw a brick at the window. And Daphne meets up with... We also met a new girl. I don't remember what her name was, but we met up with her. I don't know. And I don't really know about her character. We'll have to see. But basically, Daphne really wants to help Regina. And Regina isn't really looking at the problem. The thing is, Regina's not worrying about it so much. So I was just kind of thinking, Regina, you were almost killed. You could have been killed with that brick. Why aren't you recognizing the problem? It's why isn't she recognizing the problem? She should recognize the problem, because there obviously was a problem there. So, Daphne and Bay had to basically put aside all their drama and focus on helping Regina. Because Regina was threatened, and she wants to naturally help her. So, she learned through one of her old contacts in the neighborhood that guy, the girl that she met, she told her that there was this guy called Nacho, who was the guy that initially ordered the brick attack, so she and Bay wanted to pay him a visit. They wanted to convince him to leave Regina alone. They go over to where he is at this pool game, and they're like, okay, here's the catch. We're in this pool game, and basically, if we win, you get to do something that we want you to do. And he's saying, like, sex or something like that. So they end up actually being really good. They end up beating them in the pool game, which is really good. And then you just tell them to leave her alone. But it doesn't work out well at all, because what ends up happening is that, they asked Regina to be taken off their hit list, but the guys didn't like it because there was a small chance they could have listened, and Daphne told them that Regina was no longer working on the project, so they might have dropped it there. And they're like, oh, Regina was a drug dealer, and she took all those drugs and everything. And, Daphne's like, oh, she's not like that anymore. So, the big thing is, again, they're very concerned about her safety, and they don't want to put her in danger. So, that was definitely very interesting. However, what they don't know is that what the adults were up to during their visit, while they were telling everyone Regina was out to the rest of the parents, once they were appraised of the situation, convinced Regina to fight for her job. Wes was also getting threatened over the gratification project. He wanted to walk away, so it was actually Regina's return into the fold that rejuvenated this big issue. So the project is going through because of her, and a lot of people are bound to be angry, so that's obviously not a good thing. So Daphne was upset to hear her mother was back on the project, and seeing as she had run out of options to protect her, she finally sought out help. Daphne decided to go to Angelo. She asked two things from him, and these are very important things. She wanted him to learn sign language, and she asked him to move on. Because having him at the house will make her feel safer, and having him learn her language will make following conversation with him and his accent that much easier. So, basically, she needs his help because someone needs to help her. And I also like that John and Catherine also know about this, but the thing is, Regina's really not recognizing the problem, and she's going to be in a lot of danger. I know there's going to be something that's going to happen to her that's going to put her in a lot of danger. She doesn't realize how much danger she is getting herself into, but there's a lot more danger, I think, coming her way. Definitely, because of the end of this episode, I feel like that's how the episode's going to, that's going to happen. There's a lot more danger that's coming her way. So, that was the mid-season premiere, and overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good way to reintroduce us to the characters. I like that they kind of took it directly after the where we left off in the episode. I thought that was interesting. So yeah, overall, I really did enjoy it. There are a couple of things, though, I do want to talk about. Also, we found out that Toby's in Iceland. I guess we're not going to see Toby for, we know that Toby's in Iceland, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Toby till, the finale. We'll have to see. A couple things I want to know with this episode is, one, Regina is not safe. Do you think that something bad's going to happen to her? I definitely think something bad's going to happen to her. We saw next week something very bad's going to happen to her. She's going to have to call cops or something. So, definitely, she's going to find out that, she's not safe. She's going to find that out in the next episode. Two, the other thing that I want to know is what's going to happen with Bay and Emmett. She had that pregnancy scare and everything. Do you think that Bay is going to get pregnant? I don't know. We're going to have to see. Is she going to successfully break up with Tank? I don't really know. I think if Tank, found out about this, he'd be pissed off and everything, and he'd be really betrayed. He'd feel really betrayed by her, and so that was really upsetting. As far as Matthew goes, do you think Matthew will finally stop? I don't know. Melody took that into her own hands, and she really cares about her son's safety, but I really don't know if that's enough for him to get him to stop. I really don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. The other thing I had to talk about was, where do you think Bay and Emmett's relationship is going? Do you think that they're going to successfully make it, or do you think that something is going to just ruin their marriage? Not their marriage, but their marriage. Why am I talking about marriage? Ruin their relationship. Do you think it's not going to work out for them? I really don't know, because, they could end up being teen parents. They could end up having to, marry or whatever, so we'll have to see. I kind of feeling it's where this is going to go, that they're going to end up trying to get married, because I just feel like they do something like that. But overall, that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the Season 2 premiere of The Foster. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.